So, I've got something super cool for you today. Well, cool and maybe a little unsettling if I'm being honest. It's a thought that's been living in my head rent-free for a while now. Welcome to 60 Second Scholar, by the way. I'm Kafka, and it's awesome to have you here. Today, we are wading into some deep water. The topic is social media making us lonely? And I know, it sounds like a paradox, right? We've got hundreds, maybe thousands of friends in our pockets. We're connected to literally everyone all the time. But there's this background hum, this feeling that for all our connecting, we might be becoming more alone. The first thing, and I think this is the big one, is that social media turns us all into performers and into curators. We're not really sharing our lives, we're exhibiting a carefully selected, perfectly lit, filtered version of our lives. It's like we each have a little museum dedicated to how great we're doing. You scroll through and it's Exhibit A, the perfect beach vacation. Exhibit B, the amazing new job. Exhibit C, the flawless sourdough bread someone baked. Wow. But nobody's exhibiting their bad day or their self-doubt or the pile of laundry that's been sitting there for a week. So we walk through everyone else's museum of perfection, and then we look at our own messy, chaotic, behind-the-scenes life, and it feels like we're the only ones not getting it right. That comparison, that's a really lonely feeling. And then there's the nature of the interactions themselves. They're thin. They lack weight. A like isn't empathy. A heart emoji isn't a hug. A quick comment isn't a deep conversation. We've replaced these rich, high-nutrition interactions with social junk food. It's like you can eat candy all day. You'll get calories, you'll get these little sugar rushes, but you won't be nourished. You'll feel sick and empty. Social media interactions are kind of like that. We get hundreds of these little validation snacks a day, these little hits. But at the end of it, our need for real, nourishing connection is totally unmet. We're starving in the middle of a feast, And we have to talk about the brain chemistry here because it's fascinating and a little scary. Every like, every share, every notification, it's a tiny little hit of dopamine, a reward. Our brains are wired to seek rewards. So we post, we wait, we check. Oh, a like, dopamine. Another one, dopamine. It creates a compulsive loop, but it's a fleeting pleasure, not deep fulfillment. It's the candy rush, not the nourishing meal. We're not seeking connection anymore, we're seeking the next hit. That's not a social dynamic, it's the blueprint for addiction. Another layer to this is how social media flattens our identity. We become a brand. Our profile, our posts, our stories, they all have to be on brand. We develop a persona and we have to stick to it. If you're the funny friend, you have to be funny in every post. If you're the activist, you have to be passionate and outraged. There's no room for nuance, for contradiction, for the beautiful, messy complexity of being a human being. We get locked into these digital roles, and it can be incredibly lonely to feel like you can't be your whole self, that you can only show this one-dimensional version of who you are. The pressure to perform is constant, and it's exhausting. And we have to talk about the brain chemistry here, because it's fascinating and a little scary. Every like, every share, every notification, it's a tiny little hit of dopamine, a reward. Our brains are wired to seek rewards. So we post, we wait, we check. Oh, a like, dopamine, another one, dopamine. It creates a compulsive loop, but it's a fleeting pleasure, not deep fulfillment. It's the candy rush, not the nourishing meal. We're not seeking connection anymore. We're seeking the next hit. That's not a social dynamic. It's the blueprint for addiction. Another layer to this is how social media flattens our identity. We become a brand. Our profile, our posts, our stories, they all have to be on brand. We develop a persona and we have to stick to it. If you're the funny friend, you have to be funny in every post. If you're the activist, you have to be passionate and outraged. There's no room for nuance, for contradiction, for the beautiful, messy complexity of being a human being. We get locked into these digital roles, and it can be incredibly lonely to feel like you can't be your whole self, that you can only show this one-dimensional version of who you are. The pressure to perform is constant, and it's exhausting. And we can't ignore the algorithm. It's the invisible hand guiding all of this. Its job isn't to connect you with people in a meaningful way. No, its job is to keep your eyeballs on the screen. That's the business model. And how does it do that? Well, it learns what you like, and it just feeds you more of the same. This creates these echo chambers, these bubbles. Our world starts to shrink digitally. We stop bumping into different ideas or people who challenge us. And worse, the algorithm often promotes the most extreme, most outrageous content because that's what gets the most reaction. So we end up feeling like our little group is the only sane one and everyone else is crazy. That's not connection. That's building digital walls. It's incredibly isolating. There's also this fear of missing out, or FOMO. It's a real thing. Because everyone is constantly broadcasting their lives, you feel this pressure to always be doing something, to be out, to be living your best life. Staying in on a Friday night can feel like a failure when you see 15 different stories of amazing parties and gatherings. So we end up doing things not because we truly want to, but because we feel like we should be doing them for the gram, for the post. It erodes our ability to just be. To be content with quiet, with solitude. We start to confuse being alone with being lonely, and that's a really dangerous mix-up. And let's be real about what this constant scrolling does to our brains. It's training us for distraction. We're getting used to this fire hose of information, this constant stream of new, shiny things. A 3-minute video feels long. A long article? Forget it. We're losing the ability to concentrate, to think deeply about one thing for a sustained period. And deep thought, just like deep connection, is essential for a fulfilling life. We're trading depth for a very, very wide but very, very shallow puddle of information. This also gets into the idea of digital literacy. We're often not taught how to navigate this new digital world in a healthy way. We wouldn't just hand someone a chainsaw without instructions, but we hand kids, and ourselves, these incredibly powerful social tools with no guardrails. Learning to set boundaries, to curate our feeds for well-being instead of just engagement, to recognize the emotional manipulation at play, these are becoming essential life skills. It's not about rejecting the technology wholesale, but about learning to use it with wisdom and self-awareness, ensuring that it serves us rather than the other way around. So, what's the takeaway here? Is it all just doom and gloom? I mean, no, not really. It's not that simple. I found incredible communities online, people I never would have met otherwise. It's a tool, and like any powerful tool, it has the potential for great good and for great harm. I think the problem is we've been using it passively. We've let it lead us. The solution, or at least the beginning of one, might be in becoming active, intentional users. To be conscious of what we're doing, using it to facilitate real life, not replace it. To see a friend's post and think, oh, I should call them, instead of just tapping a heart. It's about remembering that a profile is not a person, and a feed is not a life. It's about putting the phone down, looking the person across from you in the eye, and having a real, messy, uncurated conversation. That's the stuff that really fights off loneliness. And that's our time. A lot to think about, I know. Thanks for hanging out with me today on 60 Second Scholar. I'm Kafka. Be kind to yourself, and I'll catch you on the next one.